tell me how many people are in there. Okay, I am going to show you guys how to access the port, a port, my port, or whatever. I've already bleached the area. You want to bleach kind of like, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I bleach the counter because I do it in the bathroom so I can like see in the mirror what I'm doing. So I'm washing my hands with super hot water and soap, and I get up to my arms, and you want to scrub really well because ain't nobody want that infection. So scrub. When you dry your hands, you want to use a paper towel and not like a cloth that someone else used, because otherwise you're just touching other people's germs and reinfecting your hands. You want like the most sterile environment that you can get. And I know it sounds crazy that I'm in a bathroom doing it, but I bleach my bathroom every single day, 2 to 3 times a day. Yes, I'm crazy. Okay, so I'm gonna dry my hands really well. I laid out all of my stuff beforehand. After I bleach, I lay everything out, and I'll explain what everything is while I'm doing it. Okay. This is the sterile package. This contains your bandage, your swabs, your mask, your gloves, all of your basic necessities. It's sterile. So this we cannot infect. It has the sterile gloves and everything. This is the needle. It does come in its own separate sterile package in the tubing. This is it's called Gardava, something like that, but this goes underneath the needle and it prevents or helps prevent infection, and it's like an extra padding, which is pretty cool. This is the saline that you use to flush to make sure everything's working good. And this is the connector in its own sterile package. Everything has to be completely sterile. So any cross-contamination, you might as well just pitch it. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to open the connector, and you're going to want to open from the opposite end, not like where it actually connects, because you're going to use that next. So I'm going to open that and pop off the top. There's lids to everything. So pop that off and leave that open. And then I'm going to open the needle at the end where it connects to the connector. And I'm just going to open it up all the way. That way it's easy to grab when I'm using my sterile gloves. Then I'm going to open the saline. It's just a normal saline flush, just basically salt water, I guess you could say. And I'm going to get all the air bubbles out, because you don't want that in there. Alright, so then the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to connect the connector to, oops, I gotta take off this part too. The connector to the needle tubing. You don't really want to touch it because you're not wearing gloves at this point. All your gloves are in your other thing. Ooh, that one's a different color. Mine's usually blue. How fancy. Hopefully they gave me the right one. And then you're just going to connect it. And then you're going to flush. And you will make sure that the needle part right here is flushing, which we have a good flow, so that means that that's working. And you're just going to set that to the side. Get rid of trash. Next, you're going to open the packaging tray. this is where like the sterile technique has to come into place, because this cannot be contaminated. So I'm just going to open this up and carefully touch around the edges, because my hands have touched this other stuff which I have touched before I washed my hands, which is okay, but it just means to be more sterile. This is sterile, so you're going to take this and you're going to dump it into here, into the sterile field. I'm just going to carefully dump it. This is a pan, but okay. Next, you're going to take your mask and put it on. You are supposed to wear a mask because it prevents any bacteria in your nose from you breathing onto your port when you're accessing, because you carry MRSA in your nose, if you didn't know that. Next, I am going to open my sterile gloves. It tells you how to open them, basically. Thumb, thumb. My nurse taught me a way to lessen the chance of cross-contamination. So you basically just pick up here, and it probably doesn't help I have nails. And you carefully don't want to touch the fingers, basically, with your hands. Then you're going to take this hand and you're going to pick it up by the end, and this is the hard part. You have to really like try to get your hand in there without touching the other fingers. All right, that's done. All right, next it is time to clean. So you're going to grab, these are alcohol swabs. They're just chloropreps, basically non-sterile solution, and they're just sticks. And there's 3 of them, so you have to use all 3. This is what they look like. They stink, I'm not gonna lie. And then you're just going to start at the very middle of the port and push and work your way around it. You do not want to go back over the area again. Like after you go out, you don't want to go back in. So you just want to make a circle all the way around. Circle, circle. Just make a circle. And then I kind of just wipe around, because it removes like the oils off the skin, so when I go to use a bandage, it doesn't give me issues with sticking. There's one. You cannot set this packet down either. It has to stay in your hand, because then the sterile packet has touched a non-sterile area, and then you just contaminate it. So you're just gonna do the same thing again, really cleaning. I still have part of my scab there, so it kind of irritates it to go over it. Round and round and round. And then one more. And it doesn't hurt or anything. Like you can feel it moving around, but no big deal. And around. You never really know where the bandage is going to end up, because it depends upon your needle placement. Okay. I'm now going to take the drape. I'm going to let it air dry for a second before I manually dry it. And this is so you don't get anything on your clothes, because you never know what could happen. I've already de-accessed, obviously. There's no needle in there. I did that this morning. You just want to make sure that it's covered on your shirt. Again, you never know. All right, and then you're going to take one of these things. I like using this one. The nurse recommended this one because it's nice and soft. I'm just gonna dry the area. I like to let mine air dry because it feels so good on an itchy spot. Okay. All right, here comes the fun part. You're going to take, well, first I guess you'll take the needle out and you will bend the wings back. These are the wings. This is kind of what you grab. And those are the flaps. And then you're going to take the guard, which helps prevent infection and is kind of like an extra padding, and you put it over the needle and you hold all of this back. This is what you grab. This is like what helps you gain control of the needle. And then you remove the top. This is the needle. That is what goes inside, and it's kind of long. It's not super thick, but it's thick enough to where you can feel it. And then you just pick the whole thing up. It doesn't matter if it's dangling or anything like that. You're not going to really notice. These flaps on here are kind of awkward. Oh, that's really awkward. Give me some jacked up flaps. And a really jacked up needle. Okay. Let's see what we're working with. Pull down my mask, I can't see. You're going to want to get in between the 3 chambers. So you see like the 3 little dots on it. 1, 2, 3. You want to get in between there. I'm going to move my mask a little bit because I can't see. You want to get in between the 3 dots, and you want to go just a smidge over from where you last accessed. But I can't see where I last accessed because I let it sit throughout the day. So I kind of can see. I think I'm going to go a little bit below. You have to stay in between the 3 dots no matter what. So you grab your port. I'm left-handed, so I hold the needle with my left hand and I grab my port with the right, and you want to get it nice and steady. And right below, and push. Okay. Now we're going to see if we have a good stab. Just going to push some saline through first. All right, that's good. If it goes easily, that means, you know, it's a good flow. And then we're going to pull back and see if we have a blood return. It's important to get blood return because that means that you've nailed it. Like, you're good, you've got a good spot. So you're only going to get a little bit of blood by pulling back. Try it again. There we go. And then you're just going to finish flushing it. All the nasty blood out of there. And we're good. So because we have a good flow, which means it was easy to push through and the blood was easy to come out, that means you've got it in the right place. So you know that when you go to infuse or you do anything else, you're good. You've got it in a good place and it's going to flow good. Because when you're infusing with gravity, it takes some time for it to really flow. And when you don't have a pump, you have to rely on gravity. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this so I can insert my bandage. And then this is the pain. I hate the bandage part. I still have yet to master a good bandage. When my nurse is here, I can do it because she's like, oh, no, go over. But I don't have her anymore. So I'm going to figure out a good spot for this. I guess I should take this off first. And I'm using my mirror. The mirror is like everything. That's why I do it in the bathroom. Okay, that's a good spot. All right, first I'm gonna take, I guess I should have done this part first. I'm gonna take some tape to help keep my port, or not my port, but like my tubing in place, because mine, I move so much and I pick up the girls, or specifically Willow, and stuff like that, so my tubing sometimes gets a little loose. I'm just gonna place it right there. I recommend using like a low cut shirt when you do this. Apparently, I did not do that.
They're saying, how often do you do this?
I do it every Sunday. So previously, I've de-accessed Saturday night or early Sunday morning, and then I will re-access, which means doing this, Sunday evening before I'm supposed to infuse. That way I just give myself a break, because I mean, I feel weird now not having the needle, but it gives myself a chance to take like a legit shower and not like sponge bathe. So for me, I do it every Sunday. It's important you have to change it once a week no matter what. I'm going to do it there. This tank top is not a good idea. And then just paste it down if my glove comes out.
So one was like, we don't know anything really about this. When you flush it out, where did the saline go? Question mark, bloodstream?
Yes, it goes right into the bloodstream.
The jugular.
Yeah, mine goes up into here and then into the bloodstream. I have a normal one will go into the clavicle, which goes directly into the heart, but my what the heck is that? My surgeon said that he does them now in the jugular because you don't get swelling in the arms, and I'd rather not look like a balloon, so he does his in the jugular. So I don't know if you can see, but I have this here, and it goes into
the insertion. You can feel it like right there.
Yeah, that's where it is in the jugular, and you can only see it sometimes, and since I've been losing more weight, you can see it a little more now. Now you're just going to push around and make sure it sticks. And then up here. Just make sure it's stuck really good. Alright. Bandage is done. Now I always take tape and I reinforce the bottom, because right here it always comes up, and you don't want it to come up because then any germs, it is so easy to catch an infection or germs. Anything that gets up into there, that's it. You can get an infection. So you want to keep this as closed off as possible. Basically, like, you want to shelter and baby the crap out of your port. So I tried to stay out of the sun so that way it doesn't sweat. Otherwise you can see like moisture build up in here, and then it just looks nasty, and then I feel gross. But I only change my needle once a week, so I kind of have to live with it. But I can't be in the heat anyway because of my POTS, so I guess it kind of works out. A 10-minute maximum is it for me, but since this weather has been amazing, it's been so nice to be able to sit outside for a little longer. I cannot find the other end of this tape. I'm gonna take off my gloves. I don't need them now. I'll take off this so I can breathe.
Oh, you're so pretty.
Oh, Lord. Look how hot mess. Oh, found it. For the love of... Oh, maybe. Maybe I didn't. It's like the invisible tape line.
There you go.
That wasn't it.
No.
No. I feel like it's right there.
It's all on the wrist.
Or is it right there? Or do I have it backwards? The world will never know. I'm telling you, that's it. That has to be it right there. What the front door? I've never had, oh, there we go. Bam. So then I take a piece of tape and I just tape down here. Because I do not want it. Sometimes I have to do it again because it'll pull up easily, especially with like, I don't like leaving my tube down my shirt because it's really uncomfortable. So I'll like flop it out on my shirt and the tubing will like push up the tape and stuff like that. So that is it. It doesn't hurt. Sometimes the initial like stick and like jabbing it through kind of hurts, depending upon the spot you get it in, but I'm just gonna push it in a little more. Yeah. But other than that, it doesn't hurt taking it out. You feel literally nothing. But then again, everybody's pain tolerance is different, so I don't mind it. I'd rather do it myself. There's the option where a home health nurse can come in and do it whenever, because everyone's deaccessing is going to be on a different schedule. But since I do fluids so much in medicine, I do it once a week. I stay like this all the time, and a nurse can come in and do it, which is what my nurse did in the beginning. And then I decided I wanted to do it solo, and I just prefer it because I know it's my germs. I know, I don't know what's in my body, but I know that I can blame myself if I get an infection. I don't want to blame somebody else. So I'd rather just do it myself and learn something new. You basically become a doctor when you do this crap. But if anyone has any questions, I can go ahead and answer them before we don't go live anymore. I usually keep the tape because, like, again, I like to re-stick. These are just alcohol swabs and stuff. You don't really keep those. This, I don't even know why the heck you would need that unless you're trying to count calories or something. I guess I don't need these either. We have a packet full of them. Thank you, Bev. I started it. It was just the outline for a while, and then I think last year, the year before, I finally colored it in. And I don't know if I want to grow more onto it, but I love sunflowers. Our wedding was sunflower themed, and now they're all over our house. My poor husband. Any questions? No? All right. Thanks for watching. Good night.